All right, welcome to this example here where we're going to take a look at a word problem that's involving a cone and finding the volume of that cone. So let's start off with the word problem and then we'll go through how we solve this question. We have an ice cream cone which has a circumference of 12.5 centimeters and a depth of 13 centimeters. Now let's remember that circumference is the distance around the circle, okay? So it's our perimeter of the circle, okay? So we have that, and depth is going to be how high or deep our cone is, and we want to then try to figure out what is the volume of this cone. So how much ice cream can you fit inside? Because that's the important part, right? The ice cream part. First thing we're going to do here is draw a diagram. I feel it's very important to always draw diagrams so that we recognize what our image looks like, and then we can use that to go through the rest of our problem instead of being confused as to where all the numbers come from. So there's my cone. You saw me draw it. I hope you did at least, unless you were, looking away at the time. But there's our cone. We draw an oval on top, a V on the bottom, and we have our cone. This dimension there is our diameter, and we have our height that goes right there. And last but not least, we put a little ice cream on there, right? Now we got to get rid of the ice cream. And you'll notice I had chocolate ice cream. Yeah, that's my favorite. I like chocolate, just the way that I am. All right. So what we need to do here is we are given the circumference of this cone. Okay, I didn't put it on there. I probably should have. But we're given the circumference of the cone, and we need to figure out the radius because our formula has radius in it, not circumference. All right. Here's our formula to find radius from circumference. The radius is equal to circumference divided by 2 pi. When you're doing this type of question here, you have to be careful about dividing by 2, and a lot of people will want to multiply then by pi. You got to do it either first or you got to divide just by both pieces. What I recommend to my students is take that circumference, 12.5 centimeters, divide it by 2, then divide it by pi. Or the other way around, you could divide it by pi first, which gives you diameter, and then divide by 2, which gives you radius. And when you do this, you should get a radius of 1.99 centimeters. Now that we know our radius, we can use that to find our volume, because our volume has a formula of pi r squared h, so we're multiplying that all together, and then divide it by 3. You might notice that it looks very much like a cylinder formula, just divided by 3, and that's because it is. So that's how we come up with the volume of our cone. I'm going to plug our values in here. We have a radius of 1.99 centimeters. We have a height of 13 centimeters. Okay, that's what we've been given. And when we do the calculations, we do pi times 1.99 squared, squaring the 1.99, and then multiplying by 13, and then finally dividing that all by 3, and you should get a total of 53.88 cubic centimeters of ice cream. Did we get all that? Whew, yeah, that was a lot. Okay, I hope you're able to follow that along. That's just solving using a word problem and figuring out kind of what information we have in order to come up with our answer. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the day.